What's up guys? Alex here with RJOCD Recovery. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what the recovery process from retroactive jealousy and OCD looks like, what you can expect, some of the challenges that'll come along on your path to recovery, and also what you need to prioritize while you are healing and recovering as well. A very common question that I get from a lot of my clients is, how long is this going to take? How long is it going to take for me to recover from retroactive jealousy? And unfortunately, I can't really give a clear answer to any one person because it's dependent on two factors that are totally unique to every single person. The first factor is the state of the person's mental, physical, and emotional health at that time. And the second factor is how much effort, discipline, determination they put into their recovery. Basically, it's how big of a hole they're in and how hard they're willing to work to get out of that hole. Some people have had retroactive jealousy for years or even decades. And so these behaviors, these patterns are very ingrained in that person's body, in their nervous system, in their brain. And that usually requires a lot more effort and a lot more energy than many other people might need in order to get over this thing. It's the familiarity that can create more resistance as you're healing. But on the flip side, I've seen some people get over retroactive jealousy in like a month or less. They're able to focus their attention and gain a greater level of awareness of themselves. And that's all they need. That's all they really needed to get out of it. And essentially, that's because they were in less deep of a hole as many other people might be in. It's really easy to get discouraged when you look at your mental, your physical, your emotional health and believe that you're never going to be able to heal. You're never going to be able to recover. But I'm here to tell you that this is total nonsense. Your mind, your ego is just coming up with something to help you stay in whatever it is that you're experiencing, to stay in the familiar so that you don't risk death, right? You don't risk change. But the change is exactly what you need. You can overcome this thing. No hole is too deep for you to get out of. You can heal from this thing. You can beat retroactive jealousy and OCD. I did. Loads of other people have done it as well. You can look up testimonials on the internet. You can read about people beating this thing. And I would use that as evidence to help fuel your belief. If I can overcome it, you can too. And here's another thing to think about as well. There are people who have overcome even greater odds and even worse health conditions than retroactive jealousy and OCD. So I come from the nutrition space. I'm also a coach for nutrition. And I've worked with people who have been bedridden and don't even have enough energy to lift up a pencil with their fingers, with their hands. These same people, when they commit to healing, when they commit to being disciplined and determined to change their diet, to change their lifestyle, to rewire their brain, in a year or two, they look completely unrecognizable and they can get out of bed. They can live their lives like a normal person. They've been able to go back to work or go back to school or get a girlfriend or boyfriend, right? This is all possible when you commit yourself and you believe that it's possible, right? Belief is so huge, but you also have to commit to the work. So if somebody who has been bedridden with dysautonomia or fibromyalgia or small fiber neuropathy can heal from that, you can beat retroactive jealousy and OCD. If somebody can recover from stage 4 cancer, you can beat retroactive jealousy and OCD. If somebody can heal their body from being paralyzed from the neck down, you can beat retroactive jealousy and OCD. Okay? No hole is too deep. You can do this thing. You just need to commit yourself and be disciplined and determined. That is what is required for you to heal. Another really important component that you need to keep in mind while you are recovering is that if you have retroactive jealousy with OCD, you must address the OCD first. You must break down the cycle of the OCD in order for you to get your relief. If you're focusing too much on reframing the thoughts and exploring your deep subconscious, your deep emotions, right? Healing your emotions inside, that's not going to break up the OCD necessarily. Really, the reason why your suffering is so magnified and so intense is because of the OCD. So you just need to focus on breaking up the pattern of the OCD, reducing the thoughts, reducing the compulsions, and then you'll have an easier time getting at the remaining roots of your suffering. Why you're insecure, why you're jealous, why you're so bothered about your partner and their past. So remember, OCD, that's the main priority if that's a major factor for you. Reducing those thoughts, those compulsions. And then when you get to that point, you feel like you've got your head above water, you can really start to change and become more flexible with how you're approaching your deep healing, doing some grief work, releasing some trapped emotions, trapped traumas, and then you're really off to the races. The way that I would describe the timeline of recovery for most people during this process is, let's say if you're over here, you're at like a 1 out of 10, you're really suffering. You've got intrusive thoughts all the time. The intensity of the emotions is debilitating. You're feeling so much anxiety. When you put in the work, you get to around like a 5 out of 10. What a 5 out of 10 looks like is you're still feeling a little insecure, but you've gotten over the majority of the OCD, and the intrusive thoughts that pop up are just annoying. There's not as much emotional intensity behind those thoughts. The emotions charging those thoughts is dramatically reduced. And you're basically just like, oh God, I can't believe this is still hanging around. This is so annoying. But at the very least, you feel like you got most of your life back. The rest of the process from you getting to a 5 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10, it takes a little bit more time, in my opinion, because that's doing a lot more deep subconscious work, deep healing work. But it's the most rewarding work that you can do. It's learning a lot more about yourself and gaining a greater level of awareness of yourself and letting go of things that are no longer serving you. When you get to a 10 out of 10, you're either indifferent to your partner's past or you're viewing it from the perspective of, wow, I'm so sorry that you had to go through all of these experiences to get to me. You're with me now, you're safe, let's make an amazing relationship together. Think about how different that would feel from what you're experiencing right now with the jealousy and the anxiety. You can get to that point. And you don't have to get to that point. You can just get to, feeling indifferent. But that's basically what you're aiming for as you get to recovery. You can expect a lot of volatility with your symptoms as you are starting out. You might have a couple of really good days here, and then the next day it's like one of the worst days you've ever had. Basically what's going on here is, as you are retraining your brain and your nervous system to calm down, you run into these levels of resistance that your brain doesn't want you to break through. And this is a really good sign, right? It means that you are really making tremendous progress in your healing, and you just want to keep pushing through those levels of resistance. And what you'll experience when you break through that resistance is a greater level of calm, security, and confidence. So don't get discouraged if you have a lengthy period of time when you're feeling really good. You might go days without having any triggers or any thoughts. And then all of a sudden you're like feeling like you're at square one again. You're at like as bad as you've ever been. Go back to the tools that you've been using that have been helping you thus far. You'll continue to make the progress that you have been up to this point. And remind yourself that healing is not a linear process. There's going to be highs and lows. It's going to be really great days and really, really painful days. You might lose track and forget of how far you've come, right? You can be up here and you started out way down here. You got to remind yourself that, holy crap, like I'm all the way up here. Look at how far I've come. It's been really messy. It's been a major struggle, but at least I'm feeling much better than I was a month or a couple of months ago. All right, that's basically it for this video. I hope you got some value from it. If you need more help in overcoming retroactive jealousy and OCD, sign up for a free call in the description box below. I look forward to getting to have a conversation with you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.